Okay, interesting. So have you heard of an author called Yuval?
No.
Have you read the book called Sapiens?
No.
Have you heard of the book called Sapiens?
No.
You've not heard of the book? Oh my God. All right. So at this very point in time, our listeners are judging you long. Okay. So you haven't heard of the book Sapiens.
No.
I would strongly encourage you, like, not even strongly, like, what's a better word for strongly? Like,
Free.
freely.
Free. No. Is it free? It's not free.
I will Arnold Schwarzeneggerly encourage you to read the book, or at least, you can listen to the audiobook as well of Sapiens. It's one of the best books ever written, and that's the reason why. Oh my God, like your hand went out of frame and I thought you were writing and taking notes. He was just like grabbing a bottle of water to drink. But it's one of the best bestsellers over the past couple of years or something. All right. So Sapiens. And
About
Sapiens is a book about humans and the history of humans. Okay. And the author, he breaks it down in a very sort of scientific, historical way. And he explains religion. The difference between us humans and chimpanzees, what is it? Well, if you put a man and a chimpanzee on an island, who would you bet your money would live longer?
Chimpanzee.
Yeah, right? The chimpanzee will probably live longer than the man. You put 5 chimpanzees and 5 men, it'd still probably be a chimpanzee or the chimpanzee group. But if you start to have like 100 humans and 100 chimpanzees, or 100,000 humans and 100,000 chimpanzees, then slowly the men will win, right? And why is that the case? It's because humans can collaborate in large numbers, flexibly, right? And those are the two key things. Number one is flexibly, and number two is in large numbers. So there are certain animals that can collaborate in large numbers, like ants, but they're not flexible. They're very rigid. They follow a certain system. They probably worship the queen. They're not going to kill they're probably not going to kill the queen and then take over and then build a new communist regime, right? No. So they're very rigid in how they collaborate. And then there are certain animals that collaborate in small numbers but very flexibly, right? But humans are the only animals in the world to collaborate flexibly and in large numbers. And one of the reasons why that this helps is because humans can imagine things, right? So there are objective realities. For example, you got a rock, you got a mountain, you got river, but there are imaginations that humans create, right? And religion was one of those first imaginations, stories. If you don't give me a banana, then the God will strike you. You're scared. You have to obey. You have to start giving me food. You start creating these stories, and then slowly communities rise, and they build temples, and they build buildings, and they build all of these things, right? And then fast forward a few thousand years, slowly you have imagination entities like Coca-Cola, right? Like Google, and things such as states and nations, right? The USA. These are all imaginations, and they're all stories that we tell, and we agree, and then money as well. He argues that money is probably the best story that we've ever told. And he gave the reason why. It's because Osama bin Laden, he didn't necessarily agree with the US. He didn't necessarily agree with Christianity, but he definitely agreed with money, right? So money is the universal story that we all agreed on. So religion is, in a way, just stories that we tell ourselves.